Yo, YouTubers, what's up? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we bring you a new Dragon Ball Z statue. This is the VKH Vegeta vs. Semi-Perfect Cell. So this is actually the second version of this statue. I know VKH has always been a big fan of this pose and wanted to make this statue. So here we finally have it. Arrived fairly quickly. So there is a colored box underneath, it looks like. Alrighty. So let's check out this box real quickly. It has Vegeta, the statue. Quite cool. I like the box. Not too big, but it does have a decent weight to it. So first thing we see is the COA. Check that out. Ooh, I got number 3 of 400. Nice little low design. Nice COA, I like that. Looks good. Let's take this bad boy out and see what we think. So today I'm going to do the unboxing and review. Tomorrow I will do a comparison versus VKH Form 1. Because I do own the first version, and I love the first version. It was always one of those statues I really wanted when I first got into collecting. Like, I wanted it so bad, and I was so happy when I finally got it. And granted, I don't plan to ever sell the first one. That's like a lifer for me. But I'm quite excited on this. This actually had some revisions done due to some fan feedback. You know, VKH always listens to his fans. So we do have some feedback, and they revised Vegeta's portrait and some of the details. I am hoping this will fit in a detail, because if it doesn't, then I'll need to be a little strategic on how I display this. So here's the base and the bottom. Doesn't look too big base-wise, so it might fit in a detail actually. Yeah, not too heavy either so far. 3 of 400. Yeah, that base is tiny. So this might fit in a detail. You know, that base is way smaller than the other one. That could be both a good and a bad thing. Looks like there's quite a lot of parts that go to this. What the heck? All that for that? Huh, not sure where that one goes. This is probably going to take a little bit because of how many parts there are. Now this effect they're doing, it's sort of like a sand effect. This looks the exact same as the cooler statue, if you remember that. Let's think. Oh, there we go. Thought that might go there. Not sure where that little one piece goes. There we go. It is magnetized, just so you're aware. Alright, we got one of Cell's hands. I'm excited to get this set up. I feel like this is one that needs to be seen in person to truly look good. I want to get this base set up, and then we do Vegeta and Cell. So here's another base part. Yeah, this sand effect reminds me exactly of Cooler statue. And I don't mind that on the Cooler statue. I think it looks good. It was just so big on the Cooler statue that it made it very difficult to display. Oh, that's how it is. So packaging seems to be great. Everything is nice and secure. Yeah, it looks like Cell's body and tail is over here. Yeah, and another part of Cell is one of his legs. Another part of the base. So we have tons of cloud effects. And here's an arm for Vegeta. The arm does look a little bit small, so it makes me wonder if this is truly 1/6 scale or if it's smaller or not. Guess I'll be able to determine that once it's fully set up. Now, lots of parts to this one. I believe that's everything as far as the base goes. So you can just see all the different effects. The logo's already on there for the VKH. That's been a trend where he does the logo. There's the other Vegeta arm. Yeah, this arm looks a little bit small. That arm's definitely smaller than the other 1/6 version. Makes me think this might be a little underscaled. Let's take out Vegeta though. Look at that big peg. Big peg. Both on his side and his leg. So there he is. Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit small. Pretty confident goes like this. Actually, more like this. No. Actually, I believe it's like this. Yep, like that. So that's how it is. So you can see his face from that angle. And then arm like that. And like that. Next we got Cell. Usually Cell's always one whole piece. This is the first time I've seen it where it's separate. This is actually kind of heavy. So we got a leg, 2 arms. Alrighty, so check out that. Yeah, that is quite big. And Vegeta's foot's right there, so it's going into him. And he simply has the other leg, 2 arms, and a tail. But Cell looks great. Gotta make sure you input it correctly. Looks like it's interesting. So that's the flat part. All right, there we go. Like that. These are all magnetized. Yeah, strong magnets. Next is the tail, and that's a big tail. Yeah, Cell's quite big, no doubt. From what I can tell, the tail goes like this. Yep. So many little styrofoam pieces. Want to just get this out of the way so we can look at him better. So here he is in all his glory. Check that out. You know, with the COA. Interesting, interesting. That tail is massive. I don't know if he'll fit in a detail due to the width. The height is fine, but that width is very, very long because of that tail. And I do feel like this is a statue you'll want to display up high. Now it's meant to be displayed obviously like this. So let's go ahead and put it in the statue next to some other 1/6 scales and see what we think. Alrighty folks, so here is the VKH all set up in the freaking statue. And this is not its final spot. I still need to find a spot for it, but I wanted to do, you know, the video close-ups and whatnot since you didn't really see that in the unboxing. So first, let's check out the COA. You know, it's just the statue. On the back, it talks about this is designed by K Ho. Each piece is limited. His signature certificate of authenticity. So that's really nice. I like the COA, nice card. It seems like the quality is even nice. So onto the statue. Like I said, the base is not that like big itself, this actual base. It's definitely a lot smaller than version 1. And your typical 1/6, I'll say it's pretty small. But the statue is pretty wide, as you can see, because of how big Cell is. Cell is quite big. I do think Vegeta is definitely slightly underscaled. You know, Cell is massive. Vegeta's slightly too small for me. You know, I would say he feels almost 1/7 scale where he's 1/6. You know, Cell's huge. Vegeta's slightly too small. But it's not that big of a difference that it looks horrible by any means. I do like how you can see both faces when displayed this way. You know, this is how it's meant to be displayed, like that. So you can see Vegeta's face and Cell's face. The ferocity of Vegeta just kicking him right in the stomach. So this is an anime accurate in regards to like this actually happened in the anime and in the manga. I never actually read the manga, but I've always seen pictures of this scene. It's a very classic scene. This is meant to be more or less a flying scene because Cell was in the air, Vegeta flew up and kicked him in the stomach. So that's basically what it's from. So let's check out the base. This base is similar to some of the recent VKH releases where it's black with the VKH logo. And then this one has this little silver around it, you know, same color as the logo. So I do like the underbase. It's nothing super fancy, but it works. Then you simply got a rocky base with this effect. Like I said, this is very strong magnet, by the way. Very similar to the Goku vs. Cooler effect. So if any of you own the Goku vs. Cooler, this is the exact same. The way I view this, it's like a flying sand. That's the effect. You know, even like where Vegeta is pegged in right there, it looks like a flying sand. So they're giving that effect that it is flying with this sand effect. And this is like swirling up, and I do like the effect. I think it looks pretty freaking cool. So they have that all throughout the base, you know. So if you think about a flying pose, the options most people do is the right there, little plastic peg up the butt. Some people are fans, some are not. I think it's okay. You know, I mean, obviously I wish I was truly flying, but you can't do that. You know, that's one of my few flying poses, as well as that sort of flying because of the way they're pegged in. It looks like they're flying. I really like how that one's done. Very dynamic. You also have that version. It sort of looks like Android 16's flying, or was just in the mountain. So there's, you know, very few options when it comes to flying. You know, and this one definitely pulls it off pretty good. I think this is a newer concept where they've done this sort of like swirling dirt effect. So I do like it. I think it works. So I do like the base. Definitely works. And I don't think the base needs to be any bigger for what it's fitting. Any bigger and it'd just be too much and take away from the main attraction, which is, of course, Vegeta kicking the crap out of imperfect Cell form 2. So let's check out Vegeta first. So here's the face. So he's clearly looking at Cell, teeth grinning. He's mad. He's fighting. He's getting revenge on Cell. The face looks great. The hair has a nice, good yellow, orangish color. Very yellow. I do like the color of the Super Saiyan hair. It looks fantastic. Subtle shading of orange and a little bit of white. But overall, the face definitely looks good. Then you go to the body. Classic armor, correct colors and muscle tones. I like the shape of his arms. They look good. You know, it's like a fighting type pose, the way his fingers are angled. You can just see how he kicked directly into Cell. I do like how they made that Vegeta's foot is already inserted into Cell and not, you'd have to insert it differently, like some other Risings where it's very noticeable. So I do like the engineering on how they did it for him kicking Cell. It really looks like a kick. So there's no texture detail on this statue, but I don't think it's needed at all. The tones and sculpt look great. The paint job is nice and clean. The blues look good. The yellow on the armor looks good. I mean, overall, this is a better Vegeta than like my Temple Studio Vegeta, which is 1/4 scale. This has a nicer paint job and sculpts, you know, like it looks more like Vegeta. So definitely a good job on Vegeta. Like I said, it just feels a little bit under scale. That's the only issue I would state. If you notice, his hair actually is like sort of going into Cell, and they just sculpted it so it wouldn't hit like that. So not a big deal. Obviously, from viewing it like this, it's fine. Otherwise, Cell's foot would be hitting his hair, so they had to sculpt it like that. Next, let's check out Cell. So perfect likeness. It looks just like, you know, Form 2 Cell. He does look like he just got punched in the stomach. So can see that the way they painted his eyes and everything, it looks great. I like the expression on both of them. I think they nailed the expression. His hands are just to the side like so, that one like that, and that one's a little more flared out. And then feet are almost the same, slightly different. Overall, the paint job on Cell looks great. You know, he has all the different details. The shading looks correct. You know, it looks just like all the other VKH Cells I have over there. So definitely, you know, very similar to the other VKH Cells. So if any of you own them, it's very, very similar. Same style, paint, sculpt, and everything. The tail is quite massive, as you saw, and it sticks out. I'll need to get some measurements for this guy so we can see just how, you know, tall, wide, and deep he is. I do think this is a statue you'll want to display up high. If you're looking at it down low, that's what you're going to see. You know, mid-tier, up high. So I think, if anything, this would be a statue you'd need to display the top 2 shelves or top shelf. You know, I'm going to see if it fits in a detail for you guys. And then, you know, if not, if it doesn't fit, then you'd have to display it up top or in a different shelving unit. But I do know detail's all the preferred shelving, at least for me when it comes to 1/6. I really like the look of DBZ and Detolfs. So overall, the sculpt and paint job on Cells, you know, perfect for a 1/6. It's just how I like it. You know, it doesn't need any texture work, absolutely not on Cell. But the shading, the markings, the tail, you know, has all this detail throughout. And on the bottom of his feet. Looks great, no doubt. You know, even this is helping support him right there. As you can see, that little wave to help prevent leaning and whatnot. So I don't have any worries of this leaning or anything like that. I think it's pretty well constructed and looks overall pretty awesome. Let's get some measurements now. So it's about 9 inches in width, 13 inches in height, and Depth, I measured about 14, 15 inches. I'm gonna have to test that really though in the detolf. And it weighs probably about 8 to 9 pounds in total. So it's not too heavy that I wouldn't trust it in a detolf shelf. So let's go ahead and throw it in the detolf to see how it looks. I'm just gonna move that out. Alrighty, so this is the best angle I could get it to fit. I actually measured it wrong. Depth-wise, it's actually more like 16.5, so you can't have it, the VKH logo, facing this way. It pokes out about a good 3 to 4 inches, unless you did it bottom shelf. But this is the best angle I could get it. So it's still a pretty good angle. You can't see Cell's face quite as good. You see a side angle. But there is size comparison to some of the other DBZs right there. So you can see just how big this is. Yeah, like I said, the base is not that big, you know, especially compared to like these guys who fill up the entire detolf. That tail is the culprit. That takes up a lot of space. You know, height-wise, it's fine. If anything, I would say display it at an angle like a shelf over here. You know, because a shelf right here, if I'm looking at my collection, I see it like that. But if I displayed it over there, I'll be able to see it better. So I don't know if I'll keep this in the actual detolf. I'll probably actually display this elsewhere because I have other plans for this main display. I'm going to be getting the Transcendent Studios Vegeta versus Frieza, and that's actually going to go down there, and that's going to go there, that's going to go there, and move all this. So I already have a Vegeta versus Cell, that one. So we're going to go ahead and display him somewhere else. I just wanted to show you that it technically does fit in a detolf. So, I mean, you can really see a size comparison versus that Vegeta. I'll put them side by side, though, and do a video for you guys so we can determine which one I like more. I gotta let this one sink in for a day before I, you know, decide how much I like and love it. You know, sometimes when you first open a statue, you have so much hype and so much excitement that you think it's better than it really is, and a few days later, like, oh, I mean, it's great, but it's not as good as I thought it was when I first opened it. Or it could be reversed. You open it and you're like, it's good, but then a few days later, you realize, man, this is so good. Or it remains the same. We'll see. Overall, I do think it's a great statue. It is priced very well for how big it is. You know, compared to some other studios, you're getting a pretty sick looking diorama, a flying pose, very unique looking. You know, especially looking at some of these ones. This is a very unique diorama and it looks great. So solid paint sculpt, looks great. Technically it does fit in a detolf, just angled this way. I was always worried this wouldn't fit in a detolf. But I'll probably actually display this on top of one of my Bestas, you know, like very top shelf. I think it'll look great up high, that high. So if you are interested in ordering this statue, you just contact VKH Kenneth1001 at hotmail.com. It is shipping now, limited to 400. Throw me a shout out, Flankster117, if you do happen to order this awesome little statue. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Join my Facebook group, DBZ Resin Collectors, where we do share all the latest and greatest Dragon Ball Z statues. Next one will be the Transcendent Studios Vegeta versus Frieza. Really excited for that one to go right there. After that, it'll probably be the Goku vs. Vegeta 1/4 by Exceed. I'm extremely excited for that one. It's probably one of my most anticipated pre-orders right now. I think I'm more excited for that than Tsume Broly, just because Broly's been taking so long. My hype for that is literally 0. So I'm very excited for that one. J. Ross Goku Bust, I'm not sure when that's shipping. If I was to guess, end of the year. That one's just been delayed and delayed and delayed. So my excitement for that is also extremely low because it's been 2 years and I don't even know if it's in production yet. So not very excited for that one. I've even considered just canceling it and selling Vegeta because I'm sick of waiting for that Goku Bus. It's taking too long. So that's it, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.